Welcome to the 180 podcast with Reni and Jahream Mace. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Building big things around here. We've got the new podcast behind us getting set up, so we're very excited about revealing that to you over the next couple of weeks. Now, we do have a Unibet special to start the show off with Origin, so we'll go to our Unibet specialist. What do you got for us?
Well, this will be in the link below, but click it's BTFU special. Payne Haas to win men of the match into New South Wales to win, and it's $13 with Unibet. It's about $7 elsewhere.
$13.
They've doubled it. I had a little chat to the traders and said, come on, give us something.
Like it. And he got man of the match game one too, and if they win, you'd think that he's going to have a big game again. So that's a good one from Unibet. Now, we've got plenty to talk about, plenty of big issues in and amongst the game that have been spoken about, but we've got a different take on all of them as per usual. But we'll start with Origin. Why not? It is the Origin decider on Wednesday night. Big game. Before we get to that, Cameron Munster. Everyone knows he's a client of mine, a good mate of mine, and really feeling for him. From everyone here at the BTFU podcast, mate. We're thinking about you and your family. Hopefully you're doing okay. Checked in with him the last few days. Been a tough few days. Sudden passing, very much in shock and understandably so. A few of us here can probably relate to it. But
my partner just lost her dad suddenly, as you know, 4 weeks ago. And just being close to that was shocking. Yeah,
so it's I think for him, I mean, I haven't spoken about him in detail because I've wanted him to get back to his family and look after them and himself. But I just knowing him, I think, and his dad was at a lot of the games, travelled a lot to Melbourne, went to a lot of his Origin. So knowing the competitor he is, and just the drive he's got and what his father meant to him and how much footy meant to his dad, I reckon he'll definitely play, and he'll want to do a good job as well. So good luck to you, Cam. I'll see you out there on Wednesday night.
So heading out there, Braith.
I wasn't going to go, to be honest, because I like watching it. We don't cover it on Fox, obviously, so I like to watch it properly at home. I feel like you get the commentary and you see more of the game, and we got to talk about it on 360 on Thursday. But with Cameron's situation, I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go by myself and I'll go in the sheds and make sure he's all good, and because whether he wins or lose, I know it's going to be quite emotional for him. So I want to be there. So I'm going to go. I'm going to head out there. Let's talk about the game.
Yeah. Well, can we start with Queensland?
Start wherever you like.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about how do they beat New South Wales in the the second one over in WA, and I think we were pretty spot on. I think you were spot on with talking about creating a little bit of chaos around the ruck. What else was it? It was Harry Grant just sort of disrupting that, getting those A's and B's, creating that chaos. Cameron he ran the ball so much, so I think they need to have a similar style of game. I think they're going to have great line speed. They're going to really have to shut down the flow of New South Wales' attack, given that Latrell and Crichton will probably target the inexperience of Shibasaki and Toya. They're going to have to be scrambling well. How do you say it?
I because we spoke about the game in Perth, but I'm just going to focus on game 3. I just think, and Queensland look really galvanised. Like that second game's really transformed them as a team, and I think you could see that with their performance, but. Even, the other day with the press conference about Cameron and you could see how close they are, and that unites really, like it's a horrible situation, but it does unite teams, and Queensland really thrive off that. So I think one thing's for sure, they're going to turn up, Queensland, like they did in game 2. They'll start fast, which they had to in game 2, and they need to in game 3, because the reality is New South Wales have a better team, and New South Wales haven't played to their potential in either of those games, even though they won game 1. Game 2, second half was a hell of a lot better, and they again, we said it last time. If the game went for 5 more minutes, they win. But I just think my feel of this is, even if Queensland turn up with their best, I'm not sure it'll be enough this time, because I just expect New South Wales to be the best they've been, and if they're the best they've been, they'll be hard to stop. I think Cleary's going to be a lot fitter than he was in game 2. He'll be able to kick. He'll be able to play his natural game. He showed really good form since that Origin 2. He's had plenty of rest. So, everyone talks up that final frontier for Nathan, and he hasn't won a game 3 decider as a half. So, him being big on US sports and following all the NFL players, NBA, I just know he's a tragic for it. And he works so hard in his own game. I just know that he's going to turn up this game, and I think it's going to be his best Origin, one of his best Origins ever. I think he'll get man of the match. We just haven't seen him at his best, and I think he'll get man of the match not only because he's such a great player and he wants it that bad, but I think everyone else around him is going to deliver. And I really think you mentioned the centres. Crichton and Latrell were quiet in game 2, and Crichton probably had, and I'd say it's a bit harsh saying his worst game, but he didn't have a game of his standards at a high level because the bigger the game, the better he plays. He's known for it. Yeah, and I think Critter's going to really have a game out. I think they'll be getting them some early ball. They haven't had enough. I've seen enough early ball in both games, and Luai just skipped around a lot in that second game, and he come up with some big plays, but he also. It was a bit of a disruption, I feel. Yeah. And the other players around him were impacted by that. And I think he'll simplify his game a bit. And we know what you're going to get from their pack. Their pack have been pretty good both games. So, I just think, they're big men, their big guns are going to stand up this game. And I think regardless, they'll be too good.
Yeah, but how many times have we seen this story play out?
Yeah, we have. And I'm the first to admit that. I've been wary, and I thought game 2 I was worried, But for some reason, I'm not this one. Yeah. I just feel like that was the wake-up call they needed. And they've done it to us heaps of times, and they can do it again. Yeah. But that's just the feel I've got.
Yeah. Respectfully putting the Munster situation aside, they bring Shibasaki in. People think, what have they done here? We read out his stats last week. You got Josh Papali'i coming back into the side with him and Tino, likely to start. I just get so nervous with this underdog, backs against the wall, siege mentality that Queensland seem to always have. We have to – it's our game to lose, right?
It is. It's our series to lose.
Yeah, our series to lose, right? And the weather's looking all right, but as you know, out at Homebush, it'll be dewy, it'll be a little bit slippery, it'll be a little bit wet. Yeah. I think we should win. We should win comfortably. But I'm not confident.
I reckon the centres are going to have huge games. Yeah. I'd love to see Trell, Crichton get really early ball and just
fire up.
Yeah, and I think when when you see Trell gets that look in his eye,
you got to bring Latrell into the game.
You bring him in, and as soon as he gets that momentum, they all just lift off the back of him.
And it's like we said last week. It's not even with shape. It's just transition, early ball, hit your centre, let them do the work. Worst case scenario, like Braith said last week, is a quick play the ball.
Worst case. For South, Latrell runs his own race. So he'll decide when he comes in and out of a game. He'll dictate terms. And often you go, if he just did that all the time, they'd win more games than they lose. But that's just his style. With this game, and he's done it for Origin heats where he's just been a colossus. And I really think when you got the likes of Cleary and go up your ass a bit and demanding him or getting him quality ball and in the centres, it just sets up brilliantly for him. And Critter, he'd be eating away at him because the Dogs have lost a couple in a row and he hasn't been as good there, even though he didn't play on the weekend last week. Yep. And he got schooled a bit by the young gun from the Broncos, wasn't it? No, McLean from Penrith, sorry. Yeah. And everyone was commenting about that. And Shibasaki got the better of him back when they smashed him up in Brisbane.
Yeah, you're right.
So for a champion like Critter, he wouldn't take that too well.
No.
And I just when you got guys like we're talking about and you question them a little bit for once and, they're all class.
I saw Joel Kane point out the Hammers positional play when they played Newcastle.
That's what I said.
We spoke about it last
that
week.
Was exactly
Remember
what
we watched it live,
did
and
he,
I just
did he
saw
bring that up. Did he?
Yeah, I watched. I don't know what he was on, but they showed.
Well, he does the sports bet, so he would have been.
Yeah, well, they showed two clips, and we pointed out when we were watching it live, like he was nowhere to be seen given it was 3 days after game 2, still.
No, he does it a lot. And
Right.
that's why I would have picked Walsh, and I'll still stand by that. Like Walsh, everyone's like, Hammer is in open spaces, no one better. And he's lethal. He's lethal, like anywhere on the field because he can run 100 and no one can catch him. And he's deceptive, got good footwork, deceptively strong.
Crazy.
It's crazy for his body weight, but his positional play at fullback isn't good.
Yeah.
It isn't good, and he gets a little bit. He's not that type of person. Like he's that calm, and he's so. I said it like he's kind of like Latrell at fullback, where he, other fullbacks you see Teddy and that they're on their bike before the ball's kicked. They know where the ball's going to be before
they
anticipate.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's that quick. He just backs his speed. But sometimes you can see him jogging, and then he'll go, "Oh shit!" And then he'll start sprinting. It's too late. It's too late. No matter how quick you are.
Yeah, and it's something that's completely flown under the radar with me. I haven't really watched him close enough with his defensive style of fullback because I've always seen him in open space and score those tries. But
imagine you got and that was against Newcastle, who, with all due respect, don't have great halves. You don't think Cleary's watching those videos? You don't think Luai, we scored 2 tries off kicks in game 2 off his kicks. When Ponga was out of position, Ponga's better than him. Positional play. So I'm like, but again, they got Billy Slater as coach, and Billy wouldn't know that. And Billy would have said, mate, we need to tidy this up. Let's do some work. So they would have done the work, but sometimes it's habits.
It's not a lot of time to fix positional play in D, though, is it? It's not something that you learn.
It's hard
in
to
3
fix
days.
habits you've had forever for one game. You can, you may even get the first 2, but then you drop off for a split second because that's what you do. In that situation, in Origin, you cannot afford that.
What do you think the hesitation was with Billy not picking Reece? Do you think it was the knee? I don't think
I couldn't have been the knee because even though he's got the MCL or PCL, I keep getting confused, whatever it is. But
PCL.
Yeah.
RSL.
RDL. Even though he had that, it's an injury that is well known. You're happy with that one, right?
You just get scared.
What?
Go on, mate. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you how the weekend was. Should we go there? Or?
No, let's not go there, mate.
Our usual check-in got disrupted. Like the Bulldogs.
No, I've seen comments.
I think he led straight to that well.
For people asking me where my stress ball is, Toby Rudolph's bloody dog ate it. And it's because I keep touching the microphone. But yeah, anyway, let's continue.
Used to touching things like that, eh?
Yeah. Just getting around it.
Start kissing it.
Just getting around it.
I'm lost.
No,
now.
so
how was your weekend? Should we just go there? No, we'll go there later.
We'll go there towards the end, mate.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So back to go on. What were we talking about?
No, we're talking about the knee. I just thought, what do you think the RSL, PCL, MCL?
Yeah.
Just the hesitation, Billy absolutely loves Reece. I just think there has to be.
They even had to change the centre, because Holmes was poor game 1, really good game 2, and then they've shifted him. So now Holmes is back to the wing again, which he didn't play well in game 1 on the wing.
Yeah,
and they had that combination with Hammer.
They could have had Hammer. Yeah,
he only had 2 good games. Reece, like he was not firing before.
Yeah, that was before his injury.
He was going awful.
Yeah, but he's come back good, hot, full of confidence.
Is 2 games enough to go into Origin?
Yes.
For someone like Reece,
when you,
he's a superstar, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's a superstar
when he gets it right.
And he looks like he's got a good attitude at the moment too. And the games that he played, like they came back and he brought them back.
Yeah,
like he was the one. He was he's been the difference for them. He's turned their season around. I don't think it's a decision that's an obvious one. So like you can't go, oh, what was Billy thinking? You can understand it. You can understand it.
Yeah.
But if Hammer makes a few errors or gets caught out of position, they lose by 6. You're probably going, oh, maybe he should have picked Reece. You know what I mean? Because a few of us have seen that. But anyway, should we give we'll give a tip? What about we give a man of the match, and margin and winner?
You go first, Aaron.
I'll go first if you want to have some time.
Yeah.
You're half asleep over there, bud.
Yeah, I've had a big morning training with you, mate. I'm absolutely cooked.
At the RSL or?
Yeah.
Big weekend.
Actually, I saw you back boxing. Did you box early?
I went 4 a.m. boxing into a 5:30 CrossFit session, mate.
That's good. Anyway, cool. Back to the tips. Nathan Cleary.
Ooh.
Man of the match. New South Wales to win. New South Wales by minimum 12.
Minimum 12.
So 12 plus.
I'm going to go, I'll go next. I'm going to go Latrell man of the match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going New South Wales to win 13 plus.
I'm going to go with a forward. I'm going to go with my man Liam Martin. I'm going to go Liam Martin man of the match. New South Wales 13 plus.
Yeah. So we can't help ourselves, eh?
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
First try scorer.
Oh.
I'm going to go first try scorer.
You can't pick a winner on the weekend. You're going first try scorer.
Can I just say, just on tipping though, I was tipping well in the horses. Just give yourself a pat on the back.
There you go.
Best bets last 2 weeks in a row. Racing shows firing.
I'm going to go Latrell first try scorer. What would he be paying? I reckon about $10.
Yeah.
Oh, you right, mate? You taking phone calls?
Mate.
Oh, yeah?
He's very...
Call you back later.
You know where I'm going to go? I'm going to go with the positional play. I'm going to go Angus Crichton first try scorer, a little grubber again.
All right. Good on, boys. You want to put another few more on my ready?
No. Oh, we've got a last try scorer.
No. I take that back. I'm going Liam Martin first try scorer.
No one cares anyway, mate.
They do. Because that's the Shibasaki edge. He's going to be too worried about Crichton. Someone's going to stuff up there. Liam Martin's short ball straight through.
I like the way you're thinking. I was a bit harsh then.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. Liam Martin, first try scorer, man of the match.
All right, let's get to some club footy and a few big issues. And again, I said at the start, these are the hot topics that a lot of people talk about. But we kind of usually have a different take or a more insightful one because we have knowledge and inside information. So let's talk about them. And we'll start with the mighty Bulldogs because, again, the Galvin situation has been murdered, massacred, obliterated, you name it. But it still exists and it still is happening and it's not going anywhere. And if anything, it's picking up speed and momentum and the noise is getting louder because of the situation that we spoke about a long time ago, that this is going to create disruption. And it's going to create, if they lose, noise from the media and pressure, and it has the possibility to destabilise them. Now we're not quite there yet, and let's be honest, they're not a club that's in turmoil, So it's just you can't avoid the situation. They're still in a great position to win a comp. They're still going fantastic. They've still been enormous all year, and again we need to. Reiterate because people just get so carried away when you have an opinion these days. But we actually want them to win the competition. We love them to death, but we're also realists, right? And we've also played the game and at that club, so we know it back to front. And we have a lot of intel there through people that are there. So let's just discuss it now that I've just got the disclaimer out there. I'll come to you, Reni, because I've had opinions on this.
I'm glad. And what you just touched on, if anyone has credibility in the game or in this space to talk about the club, it's you and I. We fucking bled for that club.
Yeah. We
bled for that jersey. Let's just say the 2004 boys, the whole 25, 30-man squad, they bled for that club and that jersey. So a lot of people are supporting the opinions that we have, but there are some people that I'm hearing maybe internally within the club that might not be too happy with some of the comments that have been said, right?
Because they really want everyone just to agree.
Well, yeah, we love the club.
You can still support a team, and want to die for that team, but still give your honest opinion.
Absolutely,
and it's not like everyone thinks. And this isn't everyone, sorry, but there's a perception sometimes there's an agenda or there's no agenda here. No agenda. This is raw honesty. This is what and we've said it for a while how we feel about the situation. You give us an in-depth situation, opinion, on what you currently see it, how you see it.
Well, I'll just address the Reid Marnie situation first off. There was already whispers that he was being shopped around or going to move on. I don't know the full extent of it, So him moving on to the Cowboys, I don't think that was the Galvin situation that cost him his spot, right? So we can just eliminate that straight off the bat. Toby Sexton has been off contract since November 1 last year, right? The problem we have now is that you're disrupting the spine by bringing Galvin in, and you do not disrupt the halves. When the game's flowing, you do not need to change a half unless a half gets injured. Now, if you're going to put him on as a 14 or keep him as a 14, you've got Bailey Hayward there as well. So you've got two small guys on your bench. Then you bring in maybe Satili or another. They're not big enough to compete with the teams such as Brisbane, such as Melbourne, because these packs are too big, so you can't carry two small guys. The problem I see with Galvin is that as a back rower, repetition goes in to working with my half. With you in 04, 05, with Daniel Holdsworth and Shifty 06, it's repetitions. What foot do you like to step off? Where do you want the pass ran? Tempo. There's things that go into, there's a lot of work that goes into creating combinations with your back rowers, continuity. So you get my point.
Respect.
Earning respect, earning the right, right? So that's not going to happen in 8 weeks. It ain't happening. If you put Galvin at 7 now, because that's a pre-season of work with kick out or with Preston, because these reps need to be done. Toby, I just don't see a spot for him in the team right now. If I was to critique Galvin's game right now,
hang on, Toby or Galvin?
You, Toby.
Sorry,
Galvin, you mean?
If I'm going to critique, if they go with
who doesn't deserve a spot? Or who can't you see in the team right now?
I just can't see Galvin in the team right now.
You said Toby.
I would stick with Toby. Sorry, I apologise. Right. If I was to critique Galvin's game right now, what are you laughing at?
I just saw Tommy he's having a chuckle at your fuck up. That's all. Switch back
Cut
on.
it off.
Switch back on. Sorry, man.
You're going so
we're
well.
assholes, mate. No, Gal, you're going good, man. You're going good. Stay strong. Focus.
If I was to critique Galvin's game, he needs to take some heat off the ball. He needs to get. He needs to take some heat off the ball, right?
Yeah.
He's got too much of a bullet pass. He crabs across field a little bit too much, right? This becomes.
Sorry, bro.
It's the most important part of the fucking podcast, and you're laughing.
It might be at school when I was trying not to laugh and look at you.
Look, there's so much. There's so much more. He needs so much more maturity in his game before you give him the 7 jersey. And fucking 8 weeks out from a semi-final, it's just. You know, I think he's a great signing and long term, but not right now.
Yeah,
not right now.
Yeah, I think.
So would you drop him?
Oh, I don't like everyone because he's on fucking $750,000. He can still play reserve grade. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Am I wrong there?
No.
But because of his pay packet, he has to play in the side.
I said that last week.
So you agree? If you're picking the side this week, you wouldn't play him in that, or you play him 18th man or something.
Depending what happens with Origin, like if everyone's healthy, I'm probably putting him back to Reggie's, and give him a few more weeks to work on the combos that Reni just said at training and build that continuity with the other players. And also, mate, I said it last night, like Bulldogs has always been known for you need to earn your spot in the team. And you don't just earn it through performance, you earn it through training and you earn it through showing the other guys that you are ready and that they can rely on you. That's been forever. That's how you got brought through. So you never just got handed a jersey, ever. Like even like I remember even when I joined there, I was the shiny toy from South, but that didn't. I had to like spew in buckets for months and earn my right. I was actually treated the opposite because that's what they wanted. They wanted to, and this is a kind of similar situation. Galvin's come as his new kid on the block. I heard he hadn't, his training in terms of weights and all that was a little bit behind the Dogs, the way that they train. So they've had to try and work on his programs there with weights and all that, which is a little thing, but it's also a big thing, so there's a certain way that they want their player, a certain style they want. You've got to.
It's a Bulldogs fabric.
Yeah, it is, and that's what makes them. That's what makes the Bulldogs. That's your DNA, And I was critical of the Dogs for years when they lost all of that, and they struggled and they were coming last, and it's because they lost what they represent and who they are, and that was that's your base. That's standard. It's almost like you need that. Yeah. To be one of us, this is what you need. You need to train like this. You need to perform like this. You need to hold yourself, and carry yourself with certain moral values and work ethic, like that was all part of it. And, and this is, again, I said, it's not Lockie's fault. No. It's there. They wanted him. They got him. Great. He wants to play. That's great. But there's a process. There's a system. And you can talk about all the physical side of this, but how do the other players feel that they've done 2 or 3 preseasons, got a wooden spoon or whatever, or played like, have trained and, sweated and fucking, bled and everything for this club. And then he comes in and Sexton's gone, Marnie's gone. It's just the optics to the players too, which unsettles the team. Yeah. And this is all obvious though to me. Like this was always going to happen. Brent Reid last night, Reedy, like he doesn't think it's been a disruption. And they, like, mate.
Is he still on that bike?
And then, he said that Burton only moved to the centres, right? Because of Origin. That's bullshit. No. Burton is a 5'8". Now, they what they've done is, and you don't need to fucking be Einstein to work this out. This is just, But they've put him at centre to see how it worked.
They rolled the dice.
And it cost them, right? Because if and Reedy said they'll move him straight back, mate, he's listening to the coach or someone who's ringing him in the Bulldogs who's telling him what he wants out there. I don't care. I'll tell it how it is, right? But if you've got any idea, and we've been talking about, they wanted to put Sexton and Galvin in the halves, which I don't, good luck, right? But don't deny it. They wanted to put him in the halves, which isn't, and they've put Burton in the centres. Not a ridiculous decision. They want to see if it works. It didn't work. It's cost them a win. And now, we're always going to put him back. No, you weren't doing that. You were seeing if Burton played there, liked it there, they had a good win, and who knows what happened next week. Now, if you actually break the game down, the combination between Galvin and Burton wasn't good. I felt sorry for Burton. Burton was trying to hold his emotion in and do the best for the team, but the service was poor. Galvin, he's got no balance. We said this months ago. The way he plays is all in, all or nothing.
Yeah.
And that's the lead. Like the Bulldogs don't play that way. They never have. And this whole rebuild, they build pressure. They're patient and they wear teams down. Now you've got this kid who comes out and he'll throw it no matter what and cost the team, right?
Yeah.
And that's not
I appreciate his confidence, but
I'm about to say, and that's why they bought him too, because they need a bit more of that.
Yep.
But
from round one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
preseason and
they
round
need
one.
X factor and they need someone who's going to take risks and come up with big plays, but not just your second or third game. And you don't even know the team yet. Anyway, that's my take on it.
No, you could completely spot on. And I wish the teams were out already today. Because I want to see what happens.
Yeah.
Because even the Montoya moving him to the right side, it's been a disaster. Disaster. He was doing great on the left. Like, why are you trying to reinvent the wheel? Why are the most simple decisions? Why do some coaches and some clubs just make it so fucking complicated when it's so obvious? Because they're stuck within that 4 walls. They've got a computer in front of them. They overanalyze a simple game of rugby league sometimes. You don't need to complicate it. Sherry gave up his inside shoulder fucking really bad twice when Brisbane scored those 2 late tries. So I can see a scenario where Sherry gets dropped and Galvin and Sexton stay in the halves and Birdo stays in the left centre.
Space.
We'll see by the afternoon.
Again, it's not all doom and gloom, but it's just the denial here and kind of the I don't know. It's like the naivety. It's like, how can you not see that this was going to have an impact on them? They only got beat just by Penrith, right? And they went 80-0 against Brisbane. So you can look at that and go, and you can still look at that and take a lot of positives out of it.
Yeah.
And fans look at that too and think, well, what are you going on about? Like, we only just got beat by Penrith.
Yeah.
And but it's not that. It's like, yeah, but man, you guys, this has the potential to get worse. That's another thing, you know? And it's like, let's just acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Let's just make a move and say, who's going to be 7? This is our team for the year.
Yep.
And let's move on.
Yeah.
You know, you can't be experimenting like this because it means so much to all of us. And we want to see the Dogs win a comp. They haven't won it since we did, 2004.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, you very rarely get these windows of opportunities to win premierships. You know, even next year, they're not going to be guaranteed to have this window. Who knows what's going to happen next year? Yeah. This was an opportunity, and is an opportunity.
Yep.
That they may not see for a while. And many teams don't get. We know that. We play footy for a long time, Ren. Melbourne Storms and Penrith, they're elite. They're in these, you know, they're sort of in a league of their own in that department of having opportunities every year. Not many clubs do, you know, and I'd hate to see them sabotage it this year and regret it.
Yeah, well, let's again reinforce how much we support the team and we want them to win. But this is a fucking administration decision. This is like
this is comp in the next 3 years.
Well, I had them win. I said it when they were going shit.
You did.
I love what Serrato's doing.
Yeah,
I love what Gus is doing. I sat with him. I listened to it all, and then I've watched this and gone, boys, have you just pushed it a little bit too far here?
Exactly.
I want to make another comment because I can't remember who made the comment and was trying to stick up for the Dogs and saying, well, Canberra's let go of Fogarty, and the difference is they haven't brought someone in as a half to start messing around with it. It's not about letting a player go for next season. It's about bringing one into the halves and playing around.
It's a bizarre scenario, and I've never seen it. I've never seen someone carry a half on a bench with the intention of rotating a half. If you're a 14, you're there in case a half goes down.
Yeah. And then
you cover a 9. Or you cover a 13.
It's like they've outsmarted themselves, you know. Because, again, it was the right decision to buy him. No, none of us.
Absolutely.
And I think moving forward, we've even questioned Sexton, saying at the start of the year we started with no, they can't win with him. Then as the year went on, we're like, they can win with him now. And then as soon as we've got to the point where they can win with him,
they've got rid of him.
You know? Like that's kind of how it's developed.
We've also seen that he has been let go to.
And just to reiterate too, I'm not going to name who, but I have spoken to a couple of players. So when I make comments on here and 360, it's with confidence because I know that it is having an impact on them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important to know. It's not just us making it up.
How can it not?
Yeah.
At this stage of the year.
I reckon we cut it there, eh? We've spoken so much about it. And, you know, it's good insight for the Dogs fans. But agree with us or not, I think that's
have your say.
Yeah, have your say.
Please comment.
Subscribe, you know what to do. I don't, but anyway. Now the Tigers. The Tigers, good win from the Tigers.
Tigs.
Unfortunately, Aaron's was in the
position.
fetal position.
I loved every bit of it.
Rennie was sending tiger emojis to the group.
Mate. He was. You're loving it.
Oh, mate, I loved it.
You get quite emotional, don't you?
A little bit. I do.
But they played good. They had some great
Can
energy.
I say, maybe you signed the Bulldogs signed the wrong half. He's exceptional.
Oh,
Fainu. He is.
I picked Tigers
I'm
too,
going to actually say he's going to end up a better half than Galvin. There you go.
That's a fair call. Do you know the story behind that? So I don't know if I've mentioned it on the potty, but this is the mail I got out. Good mail is that at the start of the year, Luai actually preferred Fainu, and this is allegedly because
I've heard
this out of the camp.
Yeah, right.
This is rock solid.
Like they were umming and ahhing more so about Fainu or Galvin, and that in itself, I think Galvin didn't like, and it got him off on the wrong. And he was like, Luai's come in now. That was a bit of a thing at the start of the year.
I was told it wasn't even, and this is from a very reliable source at the club, was told that the leadership group went to the coach and said, we think he's trained better, he's trained harder, and he works better with the team.
You know everyone at every club there.
Not every club.
Big Brother was watching.
No, I did hear something similar.
And at the game, it was real weird. I watched Luai. He literally just sat by himself. He sat in front of us, and he was just there by himself watching the game.
Yeah, so just off the back of that, the takeaway, Dogs, Balmain West Tigers really good, and Roosters missed opportunity. We won't go too much into that, but a missed opportunity. They were cruising up the ladder. You know, they really should have beat the Tigers. Yeah, they had a lot of players out, but so has everyone this time of year. So that puts a bit of pressure on the Roosters again now over the next month.
It's annoying because they scored more tries and lost because they lost 3 penalty goals. Maybe. Yeah. What a hard run home.
Oh, they're it's not guaranteed.
Hey, you were giving it to me.
No, hang on. Let's rephrase this then. You said there would be no chance of making the 8. And Reedy said they
won't make the 8.
No.
They won't
There's
have
a big difference.
No chance. There is no difference.
There's a big difference. You said they wouldn't be in contention to make the 8.
I didn't say contention.
Reedy said that. You got on the bike with Reedy and you went to Aspen with him.
I said they will not
make
the 8.
No. You said they wouldn't be in contention.
Phrase it however you want it.
Different, very different.
Right, they've gone enormous. They had 2 debutants in centre and wing.
They had 9 players out, didn't they?
And they had Marky Mark in there. They're like, he's an
so we've gone there.
Day.
We weren't going to go there, but that's a take there. Yeah, because the Tigers, it was good for them. 6 in a row, ended that 6 in a row losing streak with a good win. Fainu was great. All of the Fainus were really good. But, and Benji was good for him. He's under a bit of pressure at the moment. So he was really good. But that's more we want to talk about the situation there with Jahream Bula. Now, he's off contract. Well, there's options. Club option is they can take it, but he's on 900. They can say, yes, we want him again, but they've got to pay him 900. Or he takes it or doesn't, and he's on 800 or 7 or something. 8. So, and Michael Chemis is saying that his manager's talking to other clubs. Who's his manager?
Who's his manager?
Now, this gets better. This gets better. No one's really spoken about this.
Who is his manager?
Isaac Moses is his manager, right?
Our man, Isaac.
Have you seen the doco on him?
Oh, I haven't. I'm going to watch one.
Ladies and gentlemen, check it out. It's brilliant. I don't know where it is, but it's been sent around. And it's horrific for him.
Is it scathing?
Well, it's very scathing, and he can't even do anything about it because it's true.
So, I can't wait to watch it.
Like, if that was me and I had a video, I'd be going to my solicitor and going, I want to sue these people. But because it's all factual, we can't
What are some of the key takeouts from it?
The key takeout is if you I don't even want to say because it's going too far.
We'll go watch it.
No, it's real.
I want to watch it. No. It's just like, man, I don't want to go down that path again. But how this guy is, and he's just signed more players, and I just can't believe how. I can't believe people, you know.
So he's just recently signed with.
Let's paint a picture here for all you Tiger fans. And the buzzer, the beep should be going off here. Like, Isaac and Benji don't like each other. They've had a falling out. They had all the stuff over Galvin. Obviously, Richo doesn't like him either with the Galvin stuff and all that. He was the one that got his client to sue. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. They were suing the Tigers and because of the players. Jahream Bula decides he either leaves his old manager or needs a manager. I'm going to go get Isaac Moses. Isaac
How
Moses
does he do it?
Just took Galvin from the Tigers to the Bulldogs. He doesn't get along with your coach, Jahream's coach. He doesn't get along with your CEO, but I'm going to go and use you to do my next deal now.
Wow.
What? Is that not crazy?
That's a big FU, isn't it?
But what does that say?
Oh, I'm out of here.
Isn't Cameron Smith with him as well?
Mate,
I'm
Corey
just,
Parker's with him too, so
there's something,
whatever.
He's doing something right.
Mate, because he gets it done. He doesn't care how he gets it done. That's the problem.
Okay.
Like, it's not a problem for you if you're the client, although is it? Because then you can be tarnished with your reputation, which Galvin copped a hit.
Right.
But he gets it done.
Yeah.
Just doesn't give a, about anyone.
Yeah.
There's certain clubs you won't be able to go to.
It's like I suppose you go get a real estate agent, they just do whatever it takes to get your sale, and you go, okay, thank you, as long as you get your, but there's got to be some honour and integrity around, like there has to be. If you're not that way inclined, whatever, but like, that's the way I see it, but
no, I agree with you 100%. It's a bizarre situation.
But if you're Jahream Bula's family or mates or whoever he confided in, like who says, mate, that's a good idea?
Surely the club would have said something.
Even the club. If this is that's a good point you make. If he's close to the club, they'd be saying, mate, it's not going to do you any justice or a favour if you do that. But maybe you got to look at it like this. Maybe he's thinking, he'll get me the best money, and I'm happy to go somewhere else. That's what I feel when I see it. Unbelievable, eh? Anyway, that's so okay. Just quickly finishing that off. If you're the Tigers, do you take that option, and sign him on $900 a year?
I don't think they got much of an.
They got a gun to their head, don't they?
They do.
And now they've got Moses. The gun's got turned into a semi-automatic or a machine gun.
It's a bazooka.
It's a bazooka.
And it's right there, like in front of you.
It's right in Benji's face.
He's like that. Richo and Benji just stand next to each other.
900 for him. That's a lot of money.
When you look at the other options, though, what do you have?
Well, there's not much out there, but I don't think he's worth 900.
What do you think he's worth?
650, 7?
I reckon 7's reasonable. I wouldn't go a cent above 8 though. Like that's maximum capacity.
But we're all for players making as much money as possible. But
you also got to look at what options are.
The scary thing is if he's talking to other clubs, that means he's considering not taking the 800. So I mean, I feel sorry for the Tigers. How does this happen? Like they're going to be in a position, and then you know what? I had Richo on 360, and I said, mate, and Richo was good, but like. Jerome's got clauses he can get out in November, I'm pretty sure, this year or next. I
think it's next March.
And I said
April.
to Richo, will you remove those clauses? And he just went on this tangent anywhere he could go to get away from it, because he knows it's just open-ended. And
you reckon there's a chance he could press the eject button?
Who?
Luai.
Of course he can. If Bula goes, and mate, he's going, and their chance of coming last again, he's like, he'll be getting his speakers and...
You're calling Ivan.
Ivan. Guess who's back?
You're just doing these ones, eh?
M&M's this great game that's coming in.
Skipping down the Ray Western or whatever it is.
Poor Tiggs.
Anyway, good luck, Tigers. Hopefully they get this.
I can't wait to see Benji in another 12 months and see how much he's aged.
He'll be bald.
He'll have
fucking grey hair.
He'll have a lot of time for golf by the time.
He'll look like Wayne Bennett in 12 months. Even Wayne.
Cialis.
Oh, 2-for-1 deal.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Get a couple of Camagras down, could you, mate?
All right.
What do we got next?
Now we'll move on to, again, another hot topic, the reaction of Shane Flanagan after the game.
Yeah.
With the Dragons and also and the Raiders and Ricky's reaction too.
It was a low question to Shane.
When I was doing Super Saturday, and when I heard the question, I said it on the air. I said, that's the worst question I've ever heard from a reporter. That's someone has no idea about the game.
No idea.
What was the question? I missed.
So what happened was you could tell the journo was just wanted to go at Shane about Kyle. So she said, how did you feel when the crowd were booing Kyle when he was kicking goal? Kicking for goal. And I've never not got booed when I've kicked goals.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a lot worse calls, but I've had a lot worse than boos, I can tell you that. And you actually laughed at yourself.
But she was baiting. She was baiting.
And that was just like unnecessary.
Completely.
Completely unnecessary. But then, so in that transition from Shane leaving the press conference to go wherever he went, he's either bumped into Ricky, for sure, or someone's given Ricky the heads up, or Ricky was under the table waiting. But is it my turn now? Shane. We won, you lost. But he's got the mail about that question. So then he just went off.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Look, I fully support what Ricky said. Made me feel a little bit bad about.
But he shouldn't. That's the thing. I'll go after you.
No. Look, I mean, any sort of criticism or conversation around Kyle from journalists, from respected podcasters, I guess it's warranted, right? You're a halfback. They lost 6 in a row. Now, when we talk about certain influences, yeah, we found it funny. In hindsight, looking back on it now, I probably shouldn't have laughed as much as I did.
But what do you mean? You're allowed to laugh.
No, but
but like
there's a difference between being a comedian as well.
You're not doing what he's doing. You're laughing at it.
I'm laughing at it, yeah. But promoting it and then listening to what Ricky said and just having that better understanding around how it can affect a person like
definitely
Kyle and his father. It made the human side 100%.
of me.
the human side of me came out, and
But he's there.
it's there. And
But mate, like I'll put it this way. Like us talking about him when he's not promoting it, we're just open and have a laugh and talk about what's going on in the world. And we said, and when we spoke about Jean Claude, we found him funny, right?
we still do.
And I said, and still do, and I said at the time, if he was talking about a family member of mine, I'd want to snap him, right?
Yeah.
And so would all of us.
Yeah.
So, and I said, so he pushes the boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think like Ricky coming at the media is wrong because we're entitled to have our opinion on the situation with Kyle, and we got judged. I certainly did, like a lot, and every player does. And you're going to get critiqued. Yeah. So that was a bit off, but I loved how he supported Shane. Like that was really good. Yeah. Like I really liked that how Ricky supported him, and Ricky did make a lot of sense. Like there are guys on the internet, like you just block people, right? But there's people on the internet that are just fucking idiots, and are looking for a reaction and say some shocking things. But that's not no one's fault. How do you stop that?
You can't. I want to make one point though. The CEO of the club's now come out and said he's not the future half of the club. Yeah. So it's not the CEO. He's not. They're in the market for a Marquee 7.
Yeah.
So like it's not. Have you not seen that?
I haven't seen it.
That came out this week.
But yeah, Buzz brought a good point up.
Everyone's in agreement.
Yeah, no, it is, mate. Everyone's in agreement.
And on the thing with like people come out and just abuse people. The thing with Jean Claude, and I'll stick up for him a little bit.
Yeah,
he brings humour.
Yeah,
he brings humour, and yes, mate. Ricky Gervais makes jokes about pedophiles.
Right. That's true.
He doesn't like pedophiles, but he makes sick jokes. And it's not all. Yes, Flanagan's a big part of it, but he also made the jokes about Cobbo getting signed and it ended up with Big Dell.
Yeah.
Like he's
creative, right?
He's creative. He's very creative.
You can tell he puts effort into it. And, everyone's got their own niche and their own opportunities to do whatever they want. It's freedom of speech. Like,
you know what? He's a massive fan. He pays all the tickets and he rocks up.
Oh, absolutely.
But did you see Jack DeBellin?
Oh, yes.
That interaction was interesting because
that didn't get missed too by the media.
Well, Buzz wrote, he didn't know him. Please, he watched the interaction. He said you're the man of the people. So he's been watching his stuff, and he got teammates saying that to a guy.
He looked emotional, Jack DeBellin.
He was,
when he gave JCR.
Yeah, but it's a sort of
3 weeks in a row we hit him a plug.
Is he back? Is he back on?
Back, mate. He saw him. He's got more followers than.
Did he have to change? Because I don't know if I'm following him then. Did you ever read?
Yeah, he's
I haven't
what happened? Did he have to delete everything?
They had his thing cancelled, which is they should have handled it so much better, the Dragons.
How the fuck in the NRL?
But this just goes to show that people love what he's doing because he's picked up the same amount of followers in the space of 2 weeks.
It's whether you love or hate him, it's entertainment.
But how can the NRL police that?
I don't know. They complained, bullying or something.
Bullying. I think the Dragons went to the NRL, didn't they? Is that how it worked?
I think they went to the NRL, but then he came out.
But then what does that mean? That he has to wear a disguise at every fucking game?
He's not banned from that. I was doing the game Super Saturday. They go to this one group of Dragons fans, and he's in the middle of them going like this in Canberra. But what? And then right, I'm in the studio, and then I check my phone literally as the game ends and they lose, and he's already got his piece to camera done at the ground. You can tell he's done like a different backdrop, and he's there at Canberra in the freezing cold doing his piece. But to give him credit, he's driven to Canberra to watch the game.
But seriously, what power does the NRL have over some kid on Instagram?
Well, I tell you what I found funny. He came out and he goes, so they've got my account disabled because I've made comments about a player's performance, yet Andrew Johns on Channel 9 called him a gronk. He goes, how is that not bullying? Yeah. And I love but he goes,
we've done enough on this, but just with Flano, they've kind of, this is a situation that's a unique one. It has been around before. Gordy actually made a good point. Brad Arthur and his son copped it. Billy and his son copped it. It's not the first time, won't be the last time. And when you're in that situation where you actually bring your own, where you want to coach your own son, like you want to coach your own son, then this comes with the territory, and performance is probably even more in the spotlight, so you've got to perform high. And he's been doing a good job and he's trying his heart out, Flanagan, There's just a few questions over selections and whether they could have done some other things. Given if it wasn't his son in that position, would he be making the same decisions, or will he see it the way that he sees it? That's kind of the speculation there. But anyway, time to move on. Will we do the preview for the weekend?
I just want to get a little uptake. So 8 weeks out from finals.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll through from the bottom, the top 10 up. Teams that can just yes and no from either of you.
You love doing this.
I like.
This is a thing for you, isn't it?
It is. Well, no, because you know why? Because people watch it and they have an opinion. But, well, everyone below the 10 can't. Right. So Sharks going to win the comp.
No.
Roosters.
No.
Oh, fuck off. Are you
kidding me?
Sam Walker's coming back, man. No.
No. Sea Eagles?
No.
No.
Dolphins?
No.
No.
Panthers?
Yes.
Yes.
Broncos?
Yes.
Yes. Warriors?
No.
Bulldogs?
Yes.
Yes.
Storm?
Yes.
Raiders?
Yes.
There we go. All right.
Well done. That was a good segment.
That was quick. That was good.
What are we going to call that segment?
What do we call it?
Every
yes and no. I just wanted to see.
No, I get it.
We've got rid of some teams. All good. All right. We move on. We have Sharks at home, $1.67. Can they bounce back against the Dolphins? $2.22.
Who did they play last week?
They had the bye, didn't they? I don't even know. Yeah, the Sharks didn't play last week. Pretty sure.
Didn't. Yeah, but they haven't won for a while.
Yeah. Against the Dolphins, Shark Park.
That's a hard one.
Thursday. It's a Friday night.
Yes.
You just got a feeling they just have to be better. I mean, they're gonna turn it around at some point.
They don't have any Origin players, do they?
They're spiralling. No, they got no Origin.
Yeah,
players.
so
they got Izzy Katoa got pulled in New South Wales camp for a bit.
But he's still playing. He's on 80s man.
No. I was just saying he's
the hammer will be coming back. The Sharks should be too good at home.
Well, I could see an upset, but I'm just going to lean towards the Sharks just because it's at home.
Yeah. I think Dolphins won't get them.
Yeah, possibly.
We've got Newcastle at home, $4 against Melbourne Storm.
Let's stick with Melbourne.
Yeah.
Melbourne. St George at home, $2.55. This is at Colgrove against the Roosters, $1.52.
This is a tough one now.
Roosters got a lot of players back.
Yeah, you know.
And they do get Rads back as well from concussion.
Yeah, I seen Rads yesterday.
And I think Billy Smith should be back as well. I think it was just a minor injury.
Thanks, Doc.
You're welcome.
The Roosters.
Is Sammy Walker back?
Do you know where they all live?
I know Amir well.
Apparently they're signing Dom Youngie.
I miss him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Lewis Dodd's down there. They've brushed DCE.
What's happening? Sammy Walker.
I think he's back that week as well.
He's probably 2 weeks away.
Oh, no, one more.
You said on both his thumbs.
That's what he said. Been thinking about that. Actually, can we touch on his weekend?
Let's just get through these.
Yeah, go. Who are you tipping?
Roosters.
Yeah.
Roosters. North Queensland Cowboys at home, $2.88. The Bulldogs, $1.42. Oh. 7.5 start.
Wouldn't you be kicking yourself if you were Payton, like waiting 4 games to bring Clifford back? It looked like a better team straight away.
He stuffed that up.
But he just...
You tipped them with the start as well.
Who?
You did, didn't you? Cowboys with the start against the Storm?
Yeah, I did. I got it, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I just think he waited till his ego might have got the better of him. Because Purdue in open space, out wide in centres. You saw that try he scored?
He was on Chan, which is a back row, but still it was lightning.
He still burnt Meaney in the end.
He would have burnt me, that's for sure.
But, I would have caught him.
Listen, I'm a bit worried about this game now because of everything going on. I'm going to go the Dogs. I think the Dogs will win. But you know what? If Cowboys somehow won, it wouldn't shock me at the moment. But it's a bit of an unknown, this one. I'd like to see the teams, to be honest, and we don't have them, so it's hard on a Tuesday morning to do it. But
So you're going Dogs?
Yeah,
I'm going to stick with my doggies. Yeah, for one more week.
All right. New Zealand Warriors $1.36 at home against the Tigers, $3.18.
That's potentially an upset.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, it is.
Stuff it. I'll go Tigers.
Yeah.
I'll go Tigers. Just for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Just for a bit of fun.
Just for a bit of fun. You know, if we're going to roll the dice in any of the games, I'll go that one.
Yeah, I'll stick with Warriors.
With zero confidence.
Yeah.
Zero confidence. All right. Parramatta Eels, $3.80. Battle of the West against Penrith Panthers, $1.27.
Back?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but like, how long was his injury? 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think so.
Game one?
It's probably a couple,
He'd be pretty close.
Probably 2 or 3 weeks away.
Yeah, right. Penrith.
Yeah, Penrith.
Yep. And then we've got a Battle of Queensland, the Gold Coast Titans, $3.70 at home against Brisbane Broncos, which is down the corner.
Brisbane.
Yeah. Bronx.
Brisbane easy.
Brisbane easy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap.
How's your weekend?
Yes.
I was in Queensland, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Queensland.
Where'd you stay?
At my brother's joint.
There we go.
What'd you get up to out there?
Have you got a twin?
Huh?
Have you got a twin? I thought I saw you. Must have been you.
Let's not talk about my weekend, boys.
Hey, you had fun? As long as you had fun.
Hey, listen, you've been sober 1 week and you're just on your high horse right
He's
now, aren't you?
nearly at 2 now.
Nearly at 2?
2 weeks.
Wow.
Thanks.
Come train with us.
Yeah.
What, hang on, whoa, you rocked up for 1 day now.
I've been sober 2 days and did 2 sessions in one morning.
Look at you go. I saw the shadow box and looking good.
Let's go.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.